You might get a little, there you go.
Got it.
So, welcome to the Manifesting the Next Layer of Your Life talk. I'm so excited to have you here.
Excited to be here.
There are a couple of steps that are in manifesting the next layer of your life, but the step we're really going to hone in on is the first step.
Mm-hmm.
The first step of manifesting the next layer of your life is getting crystal clear. And I'll tell you why. When we're manifesting anything, but especially where we're going in life, especially what we're bringing into our life and manifesting, if we don't have direction, but we know we want to go somewhere, we'll get in the car and we'll start driving and driving. And without a destination, without a clear vision, without knowing what you're manifesting, you'll go on detours. You'll take the long way. You'll go and explore things that, oh, maybe I'll like get a little taste of other experiences that if you were to have just gotten clear about what you're manifesting, where you're going, you'd collapse the time between where you are now and where you want to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So having a destination, having a vision, having a manifestation of what you want to bring forth into your life, what you want your next layer to look like, you could think of as an address that you're putting into the GPS.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put in this address, the universe is the GPS and will lead you there with trust, right? I always think about how there was this time I was driving somewhere I really didn't know the area. And even though it was in the GPS, I kept saying, it's taking me the wrong way. It's taking me the wrong way. And I didn't have that trust. In the end, of course, it was taking me the right way.
Right.
But when we lean into the trust and just being like, I'm surrendering, I have my intention, I have my manifestation and my vision, I'm telling the universe exactly what I want, I'm crystal clear, then we can surrender to the process, knowing that the universe is leading us there, that everything happening in our current reality is for our benefit, for our success.
Right.
So this is, you like that?
Yeah, I do, because like the trust thing, for me personally right now, surrendering into that trust that whatever is happening for my highest good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like, just like how when I was in the car and I wasn't trusting, I'm like, even though I put the GPS in, these signs are giving me all the wrong things. The signs are wrong. The signs are wrong.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You keep driving, but then you get there like, oh, it was all right all along.
It was all right. It's getting in that place of like trust, and just instead of me worrying the whole time, instead of us worrying the whole time, we could just surrender. And sometimes the signs that we see are for our benefit. You don't realize there's going to be an exit that is going to take you exactly to where you told the universe you want to manifest. So getting in that space of trust and being crystal clear on what you're manifesting is so important.
Absolutely.
So when you get crystal clear about your vision, which I'm going to give you a little technique, a little tool on how to get super clear, you should know that right now, your entire reality, everything that you're seeing through your eyes is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you. And what's going inside of you is a direct reflection of your belief systems. So in order to actually change what's going on in your reality, in order to up level and upgrade the next layer of your life, you have to change your identity, AKA change your beliefs. So there's layers to this. It's getting crystal clear, asking yourself, like, why am I not here? Okay, because in order to get there, I have to change my identity, because my identity reflects my universal experience of life and my reality, my physical 3D reality. And my physical 3D reality is based off my identity, which is based off my beliefs. So in order to change anything in our outside world, we have to shift who we are on the inside. And it's really fun that we get to become the person that has it, become the person that manifests it and experiences it. So it's a really fun journey. Who we are is not set in stone. It's malleable. We could change things and recreate things. And that is so much fun. It's like arts and crafts almost, like being a kid and being like, oh, this is my, like, think about a Barbie or like a doll you used to play with as a kid. We would give it a personality. We'd give her a name. We'd give her all of this identity. And then we would play with her in this reality that we'd create and have her show up in the identity we gave her. And that's kind of like what we're doing for ourselves. We're charging ourselves with new identity, with new skills, with new loves, with new passions, with things that no longer work for us. So it's a really fun and creative experience to do this. So the very first step in manifesting the next layer of your life is getting crystal clear about what you want to bring into your current reality, which we just discussed. And you can know that no matter what's happened in your past, you can always shift. You can always shift, and you can always change what's going on in your present moment. So your past doesn't dictate your present. If you're conscious about changing, shifting around what you want. I was just listening to a reel on Instagram before I showed up here, and it was like, yeah, scientists can predict the weather a few days in advance because, yeah, I posted this on my story, but it's all because of the patterns that happened in the past. So we could predict what will happen in our future before it even happens, because it kind of already exists. There's a life, there's a level, there's a journey where that manifested because of your past choices. However, the cool part about being human is that just because it is written on some journey doesn't mean that you have to align with the journey that's already happened in. You could always take the exit we talked about before. You're like, wait, this isn't what I'm manifesting, right? Getting aware of what you want to manifest, getting crystal clear about what you want to manifest takes you from going on the path of, life is happening to me to no, wait, I'm actually a conscious co-creator and I'm going to take the next exit. I'm actually not going to live the life that I've been living. So the first tool that I want to give you into getting crystal clear about where you want to be is I want you to think about who you'll be at your age, who you are in 5 years from now. And I want you to take a mental note about your age and what you'd like to accomplish. And I'm going to give you some categories that I want you to list 3 to 5 things in which ideally in the next 5 years you want to experience. And the reason why I say 5 years and not 1 year is because people often will overthink what they can accomplish. They'll be like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and the other thing in 1 year. But people underestimate what they could accomplish in 5 years. So although it is 5 years, you can know in the back of your mind that those things will usually happen in less time. So for each of the categories, I want you to list 3 to 5 things that you want to manifest in your life within the next 5 years, but I want you to write it down as if it already happened. And for each thing that you write down, I want you to write "and because." So let's say in the category of career, you could say, I hit this goal, whatever it is for you. And then you write, because I did blah, 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 blah. Okay. You're giving yourself somehow steps on how you got there.
Right.
So here are the categories.
Not just like it happened and that's it. There is action that needs to be taken in order to get there. Exactly. These are the things that I did to show up. And it doesn't have to be too intricate. Okay. It's fun, right? You could think of yourself as like the doll that you're charging with these new experiences. What are you going to be going through? And so the categories are romantic life, partnership. So you could think friends and family. Okay. Health, fun and adventure, business and career, finances, your physical environment, your spiritual development, your personal development, and your contribution, which is one of my favorites. Like, how are you giving back? So you're going to write all of these out as if it already happened.
and you're going to tap into the layer of yourself who knows that it's already done for you. It's already created.
Okay.
And this might take you some time, and it's supposed to. And if you're really committed to this journey of, you know, showing up and manifesting the next layer of your life, you're more than welcome to send me your 5-year plan so that I know you did it, you know you did it, and you feel like you have to do it because Vivian's expecting it. So now that it's done, we're coming from the mentality of, you know, this is my life, this is what I've created for myself, this is what I manifested, this is the next layer. You are going to write a new set of beliefs. So coming from the place that this is done, what do you now believe about yourself? What do you now believe about your manifestation power? What do you now believe about the universe? Now that you manifested this, these are your new belief systems. And these beliefs that you are now taking into your life are actually the new upgraded activations that you're allowing into your being to manifest this. You are writing, by doing this 5-year plan that we just discussed, you are actually telling, this is like your submission to the universe. This is where I want the next exit to lead me to. This is the destination. This is the address. And you're giving yourself the new belief system, the new identity of how you got there. Like these are so 2 things are happening. Like, I want to break this down a little bit further. Remember when I said, I just watched the reel where you know, scientists can predict even what's happening in your life based off the decisions you've made in the past. Based off these beliefs, your vision must come into fruition. Based off these beliefs, you're setting a new journey for yourself. You're setting a new path. We're moving backwards, right? We're coming from the mentality of this 5-year plan already happened. And because it already happened, these are my beliefs. But what we're doing is we're now encoding those beliefs into our identity, which therefore will make this 5-year plan that we've just created a reality.
Yeah.
Makes sense? You're following?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to take this belief system exercise, this really powerful manifestation tool, one step further. For each new belief, and I want 20 of them. Each new belief, you're going to take a belief that you used to have and eliminate it. So it's going to look something like this. Now that I manifested this is done for me. I choose to believe that I actually can manifest anything that I want. And I'm now choosing that I no longer believe that my power is limited. So for each new belief, you're letting go of one belief. Okay, we're making space for this new identity by letting go. And you're going to write this down because this is a part of the ceremony of destructing what isn't really aligning. And of course, energy can't be destroyed and it can't be created, but we're shifting around what was there with what we now are consciously choosing to be there.
Alchemizing.
Exactly, we're alchemizing. So, how's this all sitting with you?
Good, very good. I like the idea, with the beliefs, shifting the beliefs out, writing it all out. Absolutely. I love it.
I'm loving that. We're really just by you being here and making the choice to show up and making the choice to upgrade the next layer of your life, the process has already begun.
Right? As soon as you make that choice, absolutely.
And not only the choice, you followed through, you showed up.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say about that is this is something that you don't typically do. You made a decision that's out of the norm for you. Whenever you make a decision that's outside of your typical daily routine, you're starting to shift and recalibrate and move around and alchemize the future events that take place or the reactions to your actions. So it's really cool. So we're going to dip our toes into step 2. That was all step 1 of getting clear, which is, I know it's a lot of work, but the second that you start doing step 1, you're going to see results for your work. You're going to see results for your actions, right? It's really, really cool. For me, it's so fun to upgrade, to manifest the next layer of my life. And I just want to take also a moment to say, after each step, because step one has many layers to it, right? It's understanding that we're putting an address into the system, which is the universe, and the universe is going to deliver, and we have to trust the process, right? It's like getting crystal clear and understanding that. For some people, just getting into that head and that mindset and understanding is something to integrate. Each step is, in a way, like an activation, like a crystal that needs to enter into us and kind of upgrade our system. So I always say that whenever you're feeling a little sick or tired, especially after you've done some work, it's totally normal. Your body needs you to sleep. It's like saying, okay, get a cold, get a little congested, feel really tired, because we need you to sleep so that we can upgrade your system on a molecular, cellular level, which is really cool. And it's really funny because we did a manifestation chat last Sunday, and one of the women that showed up, she's sick. Yeah. And she's like, this is so weird. Like right after and she showed up and she did the work, she texted me what we did there, and one of the powerful manifestation tools I gave last week, and bam, she got, her body's upgrading. She felt the exact results of showing up, of doing the work. So there's a lot of integration.
Physically releasing the toxicity that's not supposed to be there, right? Like,
exactly. And not only the toxicity, but also the beliefs that aren't serving us anymore.
I said toxicity but like it's physically releasing all of these things, like on so many layers. It's not just but like through all of them, right?
Yes. And all the bodies, the 7 bodies, and also upgrading yourself to receive what you're calling in. Okay, you want the next layer? Okay, you showed up. Okay, you did the work. You made the choice and you followed through. You were consistent. Okay, we're going to upgrade your entire body from the 3D to the 5D to the astral plane to all the levels. Yeah. And we're going to upgrade you so that you can receive more, so that you can open up and like connect on a deeper level. It's really like, I don't like using the word magical because it's not magic. It's so natural, but it's such a spectacular journey. It's such a spectacular ride experience,
But even like, I mean, it is like, I just wanted to, for what you said, like, don't like to use the word magic, but I think it is when we start seeing these things and we know that this magic is like everyday and natural, right? It just becomes so, life becomes so good, right? Like you want to live, you're not sitting there like, oh, I'm expecting a miracle, but miracles aren't. No, you live every day as a miracle, as magical as you can be, and it only gets better from there, right?
This is beginning steps of breaking the matrix in a weird way. I feel like I bring up the matrix in every single conversation I have these days, but
I love it.
Yeah, like why is it breaking the matrix? Because you're no longer just expecting, but you're actually breaking out and you're realizing, no, miracles are natural. Like magic is natural. This is the regular way of being. And you realize your power, right? Because you're literally seeing to believing. You're like showing up, you're doing the work, you're taking a step back because you get sick, you're upgrading, you're getting tired, you're upgrading. You're being forced to tune in. You're being forced to look inwards, to make the space to start receiving and holding your manifestations and keeping them in your life for a long period of time until you're ready for the next upgrade, the next up level. But this is breaking the matrix because you're realizing your power. You're realizing that there's actually, like, life doesn't have to happen to you. You could be a part of life. Life is happening for you. And not only that, you have some creative power here. Which journey do you want to go on? Which journey do you want to experience? It's a really cool and amazing thing to realize your power. And I bring this up all the time. Like, I think after I had my first really big awakening, I felt like I was dying. I was like, what is happening? Like, I know all the secrets now and I'm dying because I won. Like I up leveled. I won, like I won the level of life. But the thing is that there's so many layers, there's so many journeys, there's so many games to play with life.
Right.
There's so many layers that you have to be awakened to in order to be ready to go to the next one, in order to fulfill your purpose. I feel like a lot of us who get awakened, we're not dying, we're just waking up, and we are waking up to our purpose. Like, no, like you've unlocked this because your purpose has something to do with in this dimension of consciousness, Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And then just for me, like what it came through, like you said, all these different layers, and it feels so mystical too, right? We get like these new layers upgrading and new layers of transformation and initiations. It's so mystical. Like um we're kind of in the big mystery school of the universe, right? Like, I mean, there's mystery schools like all over, but when we're getting to these next layers, we're like universal mystery school.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I love the mystical. Like a part of the Visions, Missions, and Manifestations podcast, as you know, is mystical, like is the woo-woo. Because I know, like for me, I always looked up to some manifestation. I'm gonna call them gurus because that's what feels right to me, or experts or whatever. And they were like so into teaching manifestation, but they were so like pushing the woo-woo out of it. And for me, the woo-woo, the rituals, the magic, the mystical, that's what lights my heart up. That's what a part of my practice. And that's what I feel like a lot of people have to, or are ready for, uncovering that shadow, that witch wound, as Taylor Page, I think, calls it. Because that witchiness, that woo-woo, every culture has these mystical aspects. All these religions have it. And we just label it different things. We label it as science. We label it as a witch. We label it as Kabbalah. We label it as human design, whatever it is.
Right.
And the truth is, it's just a natural part of life. And when you tap into that, and you posted this on your story with the 12 strands of DNA, as you tap into that, you actually open up and activate other senses, other gifts within you, which is so, so freaking cool. Because as you move through the layers and the levels of the journey of life, of the game, you get these gifts, these six senses. You tap into like
gifts. Yeah, you remember them. You like, oh, I remember I did this like 5 lifetimes ago.
Yes, yes. And speaking of past lives, like when we've really like advanced the skill in multiple lifetimes, that's something that comes natural to us in this lifetime. And that's a gift. It's like, okay, you were so good at, I'm making something up, cooking in 10 and past lifetimes. You're just going to be an excellent cook in this lifetime. And like, even though you're not a chef in this lifetime, you'll just be a great cook and you'll eat really good food. And you'll just like, that's just a perk. It's a perk coming into this lifetime, Sometimes like they benefit us in a way where like, oh yeah, I'm a really good writer because I wrote, and now like I write amazing, like, they just help us in our life.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to talk about the woo-woo, the witchiness, and the mystical and the magic, because it's such a natural part of living. It helps us. It benefits us. It takes us to new heights.
I feel that. I feel that. I like in my deep down, I'm very, very woo-woo, and like for me, that's why like when it comes to like these things, I want to keep a balance of keeping it, like normal, and then going very woo-woo. Like, I need to go woo-woo.
Normal. But it's when I was younger, I was very here. I was very in the 12th dimension. forget about the 5D, like, and I was so unaware of it. It was like such a normal thing for me. I'd be there and I would call in my imagination. I'll never forget, I was in 4th grade. And there was a girl in my grade that got made fun of for being woo-woo. And so I automatically got the shadow around, I'm not going to let the wrong people know about like what goes on in here. And I remember being in 4th grade and there was a class, like a subject that I really didn't like learning. And so I would like play these games with my fingers. I'd put my hands like this, like right out in front because I didn't want anybody to see what I was doing. And I would try to move the teacher around with my hands. But really, it was my mind. I thought I was doing it with my hands, but it was probably my mind. And it wasn't that I was controlling her, but it was like I was moving the direction of the next layer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's when I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. And like, I would just think like it was just a me thing. Like I was just having fun with it. And I like never really, I think I told one friend, like my best friend, who's still my best friend, which I feel so lucky about, but it's just a cool, like it was just, yeah, from a young age, it was just something that was so natural to me. I remember I was really into playing with dolls. I love Barbie, I love Bratz. Like I would create worlds and identities for these people. I remember then moving into high school, and when I'd wait for the bus, I didn't know I was setting my intention for the day, but I'd be like, today, this is what I'm gonna, like, this is who I'm gonna become. This is who I am. And I'd go and I'd kind of forget about the attention and I'd show up and like, it would just work out. Like that would happen. I'd be like, the next day when I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot because I did a lot of like weird things as a kid too, that it was just like you're a kid, you do these things, right? And then it like, yeah.
It all clicks.
I did a lot of things like as a kid, like yeah, like setting my intention, and it would like the manifestation would just happen.
I think a cool, like one part to know is that as kids, when we would do this, we didn't really know what we were doing. So we weren't expecting it. It was like, this is what I'm creating. This is what's done. And I would like talk to God, I'd be like, God, this is what I want. Like we have a connection here. Like, this is what we're like, I didn't even call it manifesting, but that's literally what I was doing. I was setting my intention.
Right. Yeah. And that like that part, I also like when I was very little, no one, like my family was not religious. No one taught me how, but I always talked to God. It was just like I started to remember it like now. I'm like, God, I always talk to God. No one taught me that. How did I do it?
You just had this and like this inside knowing.
Right?
And it was without knowing, you know what I mean? It was like you weren't labeling it. You weren't labeling what you were doing. You were just doing it because that's what felt natural and right for you. And I think that's where the magic comes from. That's where like the creation comes from. It's like a natural knowing and doing because it feels right and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think also like what we've been talking about, yeah, like bringing that inner child, right?
Bringing the fun, bringing the crafts, as I said in the beginning,
yeah,
like bringing, like making, like seeing it as like a doll, like because when we see it almost as a doll that you're giving an identity to, you take away some of this, but it's not possible for me, da 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 da, limiting beliefs, da 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 da, like no, like this is a fun thing. We're creating a new identity for ourselves, inserting it with these new beliefs, inserting ourselves with these new beliefs and making shit happen. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but making shit happen.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
so freaking cool. So freaking cool. And I love like speaking about the layers of life, like an act. So, some people will have their awakening and that's enough. But sometimes we want more. We're like, okay, like, think about it like this. Sometimes let's say we don't start on level 1, but let's say we're on level 1 and we wake up to level 2. Sometimes we'll surpass 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll get stuck on 6. We're not stuck, but we'll want to be in 6 longer, learn the lessons, open up to the gifts of 6, because 2 to 6 felt so natural, right? Those are like things that we didn't even think about, like when we were kids, manifesting without knowing we were manifesting, talking to God without really understanding what we were doing, just knowing it was right. It was natural. It was like an inner habit, an inner knowing. And then we get stuck on 6 because it's new and we have to like discover and play. And in each level, there's so many levels within the level. There's like in each dimension, right? I like to call levels dimension. In dimensions, there's levels. That makes more sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. And even like and if you take the science behind it, did you ever see that video of this kid? Because you said, levels within like it was a kid. He was pretty young. He was explaining how dimensions work, and he was drawing it out, and how much more complex and intricate it gets as you get into the higher dimensions. Like he showed the 5D, what it actually looks like. And so it's like, it's so complex with these like compartments and all of this. And it's also, did you see the movie Interstellar?
No, Interstellar, writing it down now, taking notes.
Yeah, it's like it's really a long movie, and it starts off, but in the end, like I was like watching it for days. I'm like, what is going on? It's, I think, with Matthew McConaughey, and he's like, in the future, Earth is it doesn't have the resources, all this dust, we can't live here. And they're like, and he goes in with NASA, they go out into space, different planets, different places, trying to look for a place for humans to go live on. And in the end, like this whole thing, and she's showing like all these things with like 5D, how he was in the 5D and he was coming to his daughter, like the way it was happening with the time, like, taking time, our linear time, but then taking it in the 5D, and like all these compartments and all these things, and how he was from the 5D going to let her know into the 3D. And it's also like these, like the way the 5D looks like. So yeah,
love.
when you say that, it makes total sense with the layers, with the dimensions, because how interconnected it all is and how much more complex it gets.
And how cool is it that like I see all this information about the dimensions. I think I downloaded about 3 or 4 years ago, and I didn't really read it in a book anywhere. But like there's movies that like also are saying the same things. There's a little kid that's also showing the same thing. Like we're tapping into light, energy, truth, and like it's time to wake up the species,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you, I don't know. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something, but I don't remember. So maybe it's not meant to be. But
You'll remember it.
maybe it'll come to me soon.
Yeah.
But yes, the layers are so cool. The dimensions are so cool.
Yeah, you were talking about that when we get into the awakening and we awaken and we can stay in one dimension, one layer longer, because there's layers within that layer, and that's when I started talking about the dimensions. So yeah.
Yes, there are layers within the layers. Thank you. And there's so much to learn. And I think for a while I thought you couldn't go to another dimension until you really like experience every single level, layer, thing in a dimension. But the other night, on Friday night, what came to me is like, no, sometimes there's portals that you don't have to walk up all the steps in order to get to the door. You can activate a portal and you could just walk through it into another level or dimension. And sometimes portals are activated accidentally, and sometimes they're done with intention. But either way, it's all divine. Either way, in some way, the portal was opened purposely. Even if the person who opened the portal like thinks they did it by accident, no. There's no such thing as accidents. The universe wanted, or God wanted, which are two different things, to open it for you to open the door.
Right.
This is so cool. I'm like loving this conversation. Not where I was taking it in the beginning, but like This is like juice to my soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Talking, yes, the portals, absolutely.
It's like, it's funny because this past week I was physically doing my regular routine, but I kept telling people like my mind right now is in another dimension. And I was telling you this a little earlier before we started recording the session, that I just feel like I'm really connected. I've been like open to all of these ideas just like being plopped into my mind. And I'm being open and like really downloading all of this information. And it's been really magical. Like like it's been really amazing. Yeah, I'm like, is this what it's like to be at the next layer? Like bringing it back to the topic of this conversation, manifesting the next layer of your life. And of course, like I don't think any layer has a label, or maybe I haven't like tuned into that yet, but um just being disconnected, is that a natural state that you enter on the level that I'm at, you know?
Right. Yeah, you're going through the layers, you're um upgrading, absolutely, and you're getting that information, right? Like you're channeling it, you're bringing it, you're connecting to it. And yeah, it lets you tap in more and more, even higher now. And it brings forth the information that you need to bring forth to everybody, right?
Right. And that's also why getting crystal clear, just taking this back for a second, getting crystal clear about your vision, your manifestation, about your mission, about your purpose is so important, because then the universe gets to say, okay, this is what this person is doing, this individual is doing. Let's give them the messages. Let's guide them. Let's give them a fun freaking journey to like explore and learn and do. And the more that you want to give back, the more, like I said, one of the things to think about when you're doing your 5 year is contribution, right? Your contribution, because the more you give back, the more you share the information, which is what the universe wants, not the matrix. The matrix is like, stop, don't tell anybody anything, stay stuck in fear. The universe and God wants the progressiveness, like, no, move, let's grow, let's expand, let's accelerate, right? Let's accelerate, let's move to ascension. Let's get the species on Earth like higher and higher so that we can create bigger and better. And getting crystal clear will allow the universe to know, okay, how much should we give her to share?
Mm-hmm.
What level are you at? And you can also kind of tap in to know what level or what dimension you're on by the things you're manifesting. In the beginning, we manifest like, I want a Chanel bag. I want or a free coffee, right?
Yeah, like I get it, yeah. And the next layers are like, I want to be in my purpose and, get and like manifest all these things that would, like real abundance, living your purpose, your mission, right?
Exactly.
Serving humanity. That's a very big, like, very big. Yeah. And I think it takes time to get into that also, like to feel like you want to be in service, everything that you have, you want to serve.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, we're all wanting to serve. We're all wanting to
Yeah.
like expand each other. I think that's where the universe as a whole, and the Earth, I'm sorry, the planet Earth as a whole is moving towards that, is moving
Yeah.
towards, okay, waking up more people. Let's expand, let's grow.
Absolutely. I'm just because my laptop is about to die. I just want to
No worries, no worries.
connect.
No worries. So step one of layer one of manifesting the next layer of your life is so full of so much juice. Like we discussed, we didn't even get to layer two today, but what we did get to talk about are why you have to get crystal clear, what layer one is. And there's so many dimensions to layer one. Like we have getting crystal clear about what your next level of your life is going to look like. And you're going to do that by like going 5 years out. What does your life look like in each of the categories that I've mentioned? And then You're going to come from a place of this is done. Like I manifested this. What do I now choose to believe? And what thoughts, what beliefs am I no longer going to hold in my DNA, in my body, in my field? And from this place, we create an identity for ourselves. We shift into this new layer, this new upgraded vibrational being. And therefore we can manifest, we can attract, open up to receiving and hold the vision that we created, the manifestation, the next layer that we've created. And through all that, we get awoken or awakened to all of these gifts, all of these like connections. We get more connected with the uni. We get more connected with God. We tap into our authentic, natural self. We kind of return back to our natural self, our home. And through that, we get the gifts, we open up to our consciousness, we open up to different layers of the body and different layers of the mind, and we get more connected. There's so many awakenings that happen just from layer one. And there are 5 layers to manifesting the next level of self or of your life, of your like experience. But like we touched on briefly before, like you could get caught up in one layer and want to stay there for a while, but then you're going to want, eventually you might want to upgrade to the next layer and you come back to this. And when you do step 1 again and getting crystal clear, more gifts open up because you're showing up at a higher frequency, at a higher vibrational state than you did originally when you first did it. So each time you move through the steps, each time you do it, you get more crystal clear. Your vision looks different, right? What you want to manifest changes and it shifts. And it's so cool. And like this could either happen boom, 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 boom right away, and we come back to layer 1. Or it might take a minute. Or it might take a while. Or it might take years. But that's the beauty of the journey. There is no rush. There's no rush. Like you're going to come back and do this all over again once you pass. Like, you know, like there's no rush. Like the only timeline you're running against is your own, because we're all on our own journey. We're all shifting and recalibrating and moving on upwards at different rates for what we're ready for. And staying at one level for your whole life is okay too, right? If that's what you need to learn, if there's lessons there for you to learn. And this like could take me into a whole nother conversation about relationships, but for time-wise, we could close it here. We could close the session here, this talk here. How are you feeling?
Good. There was definitely a lot of things. I just realized my husband just came home.
So perfect timing.
Huh?
So perfect timing to close the
there was a lot. I love it. I wanted to mention because it's kind of like, I don't know why, like it came through. I don't did you ever where, oh, it's not here, it's downstairs. Like when you're talking about the categories, it brings me back to do you know Regan's book, the Activating Abundance book? They have the course. Oh, you've never seen it? Okay, so yeah, that book, it's also it's Regan and Juanpa together, Activating Abundance. They have a course, they have a free one, and they have the book. They have lots of things to the abundance thing. And it was also, there was, I want to say probably like, also a lot of categories. So there was health, there was relationships, there was like, wealth type of things, contributions, spiritual development, like all of these categories. So it's definitely on point with that, with the categories to go in and to write about it, to
And these could be like bullet points. It could be 3 to 5 bullet points. Nothing too much. Okay, I'm so happy it resonated with you. And please send me your 20 beliefs that you now choose to take on if you're feeling worthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the time to write this out for sure. Definitely, because it's a big one, having to tap into like all of these things. It's definitely a lot of work. Getting crystal clear on that. And then I'll see. Maybe this week I'll write it all out. something else I wanted to say, mention to you. I don't know. So like for this, like, do you have like, I'm just thinking it's like the way you did this, and I feel like it's a really good, you know, like on Zoom doing this, but I feel like, do you have like a specific course that you take people through on this?
That is so funny that you asked, because I was so hesitant to share the course, because like I am still working through the shadow of like being salesy and whatever. But yes, I have a course. It is called Manifesting Your Ascension, all in your ascension, like going higher. And where we like go through all this, it's 10 weeks, and we meet twice every week, and we manifest the next layer of your life. And I promise you results. You'll begin to see results, like real tangible results, within 3 weeks of the course. So it's 10 weeks. And I do have a code that I only share with like very few people. But if you were interested, it's all caps, my next layer now.
I'll take a look at that. Yeah, but I'm saying like this is a good way. Yeah, and like the course definitely
But it's a live course. It's not a like, you don't do it by yourself. Like it's you, and we go at your own pace. And so yeah, like we manifest, and we do these tools in session, because sometimes like you want to leave and you go about your own way. And of course you do have some integration work to go do on your own, but these big things, like we sit and like you have the time to really like get into it and think even bigger and manifest even more aligned things.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like, and maybe like the people that didn't show up, that wanted, they get the recording.
They could get the recording and then hear about this at the end.
Because I feel like it's absolutely going to that level. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're ready to manifest, to upgrade, and like this is like a third thing. Like if you really are ready to live like your best life and need some sort of hand holding or direction, like let's freaking manifest it already. Like what are we waiting for? Like only good, only amazing, only success, only abundance, only like bliss comes from showing up, doing the work, committing to your ascension, which is why I called it ascension, because it's like your up level, your ultimate up level.
Yes,
It makes me
absolutely.
so excited.
Yeah, next level. Absolutely. Yeah.
I decided to hone in on really like, I used to have other courses like manifesting love, manifesting ultimate abundance, but I decided to hone in on the ascension, because it's something I do in my everyday practice. Is like I'm constantly upgrading. Like we talked in this conversation, like I'm constantly downloading, I'm constantly tapped in, I'm constantly expanding and using my gifts, and like literally alchemizing with the universe and dancing the dance and doing the things. And like it's such a natural thing for me. And through Reiki, and I actually have a session tonight. 2 years ago, I downloaded a vision that I didn't understand what it was. And basically, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I was on a bridge, and the bridge was in between two worlds, kind of tilted. So there was one just a little higher than this one, two earths. And I was on the bridge, and I was helping people get from this earth to the earth up there. And the bridge was like, I could draw it for you, but like if it's going to be a squiggly line, it was like this.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing that symbol over and over and over again. And there is something so cool in the works of Journey with VRD that that symbol will make more sense. But I only took that symbol even further just a couple days ago. Like I've been really connected, and I was like doing something, and then like it hit me. So that's what I was kind of saying before, where like I'm living life, but my mind is literally like existing in another realm and bringing me that information to collapse time between where I am now and where I'm going, kind of like the two worlds that I'm helping people get from one to the other.
Right. You're the bridge that connects from one to the other.
I'm like taking you. I'm like, here, come on, you got this. This is how we're gonna do it, and you're gonna get to the up level. You're gonna get
here. It's gonna be fine. You can do this.
Exactly. It's so divine, and it brings me so much purpose, so much meaning, so much bliss. And I love watching clients. I love watching people like just get there. And it's so important to me. Like, this is really so important to me, which is why I have these free Sunday Zooms. And I think I'm going to make them more, like maybe I'll do it every Sunday for January or December, the rest of December, because I already did the first week of December. I did the second week of December, and maybe I'll do 2 more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And get, yeah, like get people, you know, to see, to tap into this.
It's so potent. It's so powerful. It is. It is.
It is.
I'm like anybody who's ready to wake up, everybody who's ready to do the work, like, come on, let's go. I got you. We got each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna share this with the group.
Yeah.
And like, if you were okay with it, because I know your videos on it, like, I'd love to just put this on YouTube.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna upload it today. Like, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? F it. This is my first video. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the SHIT word on there that I did say
I
before.
think you have, I think it's fine.
I'm just gonna put it up. And like, let's see what happens. Let's just put it up and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do it and
Taking a leap of faith here.
do its work, right? Guide
Yeah.
that. Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
my. Well, thank you for showing up and letting me do this. There were so many other people signed up, but I guess like timing and all the things, but it was meant to be that we created this, because this is going on YouTube. This is going everywhere I could possibly put it today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Alina.
Yes, absolutely. You know, thank you for doing this and, you know, getting this out to people, right? Letting them see, experience and tap into your, I guess your energy, your channel, right? What's coming through you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I can't be more, I want to say more gratitude, but I can't be more thankful. I mean, so full of gratitude. Speaking English.
Oh, sometimes we just have to speak another language to let.
Like mass gratitude.
Right? Like language.
The energy's flowing faster than my words could like come out.
Yeah, yeah.
I will see you soon, Alina. I don't doubt it for a second. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.